pieces and now opens with d4. And Wei, what is his response going to be? He plays his knight out to f6, presses the clock. Shankland goes c4. And now the main move here is e6 or g6. He goes for e6. And Shankland allows the Nimzo Indian. He puts his knight on c3. He's looking to play the Nimzo Indian if Wei plays bishop b4, and Wei does go for it. Bishop b4 on the board. Now Shankland can go for many different lines, but he chooses g3. The same move that Pragnananda actually played in this tournament with Guen 1. Bishop g2. And now black would like to strike in the center with the move d5. He plays it, and if white plays knight to c3, knight to f3, we will transpose into a line of the Catalan, knight to f3, which we actually saw in the game of Prag and Guen, as well as the famous game from the candidates. He takes the pawn on c4 between Pragnananda and Gukesh. What is Shankland going to continue with? I believe he will castle here. Yes, he castles. So he doesn't really care about the c4 pawn. He would like to grab the center with e4. Now the knight comes out to c6, attacking the pawn on d4. And white plays a3. The games have continued. Bishop e7, e4 with a6 in Gukesh and rook b8 in Van Guen. Let's see what Wei does here. He takes the knight on c3. So he takes this very pragmatic decision that Sam Shankland would be well prepared with bishop e7. So let me take on c3. You can see the clock timings. Shankland has 1 hour 33 minutes. Takes back the pawn, bishop on c3. And now comes the move knight to a5. The idea of this move is to look at this b3 square as well as control the c4 pawn. But bishop g5 is a very dangerous move because white wants to go e4, e5. That's the plan. And if Wei plays h6, by the way, he first strikes in the center with c5. But just so that you know, h6 is met with bishop h4 and you can't go g5 because this sacrifice is very dangerous for black with e4, e5 coming up. So c5 played and now e4 on the board, threatening the move e5, winning material. h6 is kind of forced now. It's very important. In fact, Wei is treading a very dangerous path here and white must go bishop h4. There's no point in giving up your bishop. Black would be completely fine then. Bishop h4, keeping the pin. If you go g5, we all know knight g5 is just crushing with e5 coming up. But here black has a tremendous move and Wei shows it. e5. If you take on e5, I take the queen and take here. And if you take knight e5, then g5 becomes strong as you can no longer take on g5. So an amazing move there. And bishop takes f6, taken by Shankland after a long think. Feels like he was out of his prep there. He hadn't seen this move, but Wei definitely had seen it in his preparation. He takes back with the queen. Now the best move here is d takes e5. And white is fine, it's equal position. Even knight e5 is playable. But Shankland blunders with queen a4. Well, the idea is he wants to attack the knight and also the pawn here on c4. But what he has missed is that after knight b3, he wanted to take on e5. It's an understandable move here. Knight takes e5. Like if you save the rook, you are in trouble because of take, let's say take, and basically bishop g4 with a very strong position. But knight e5 was his idea. Giving up the rook. He wanted to give up the rook and then maybe play this position. But this is where I believe his idea was f4, d5. Shankland wants to sort of show that his exchange loss is not a big deal. But here, I mean, any normal human being would generally take on a1. It's not even a bad move. It's an excellent move. But Wei, after deep thought here, and just observe the position carefully. Knight is looking here, queen is looking here. Comes up with an incredible resource. And we actually had the game recording only until this point. Somehow our battery died. So I'm going to show you now the remaining game on the board for you to enjoy and learn from. But just have a look at how Wei finishes off his opponent. It's just something that we all can learn from. So he goes bishop e6, which is a brilliant move. He defends the pawn here and still keeps attacking the rook. So Shankland brings his rook to d1, defending the pawn. And now pawn takes pawn. And if you take back the pawn, the problem is after knight takes, rook takes, queen e5, this is just a winning position for black with an extra pawn here. So he takes on c4, here he takes from the knight, and here it's the knight is hanging, but look at the next move, look at the accuracy, b5. Queen takes b5, rook b8, queen goes back, and now d takes c3, and although the material is even, it's completely losing as c2 is coming in and black will win the game. So e5, queen goes back, and when the knight jumps in, now Wei pushes the pawn, rook e1, and now a final beautiful move, rook fc8. So he gives back the material in order to queen. So after takes, rook takes, there's no way to stop the queening. Shankland had to go back, and after take, even though the material is still equal, queen d8. Threatening queen d2 move, and so here he went queen b5, in came a check, queen f1 and rook d8, and now the threat is just to take here and to move the rook in, also like bishop b3 to defend the pawn. And at this point, just also the threat is queen d1, queen c1, rook d1. And even though the material is completely even on the board, Sam Shankland resigned and Wei scored a beautiful win. Just to keep in mind this amazing point that we saw in the game that can be very useful is this move e5 by black. Lot to learn from Wei, the way he plays and the way he converts such games.